All right, so let's start talking about our trading cards. And if you go to Blackboard and you download, let's go to our content, exercises, It can publish a 75 gig file in about 30 seconds, but there we go. And we're going to get our trading card. You can use any other program, but InDesign is where you will create most of the text and where you will do the layout. Now, the normal trading card size is 3 1/4 by 5, 2.5 by 3.5, full color, two-sided. So let's go into InDesign and set that up first and foremost. New document. Now, I'm going to put the number of pages at 3 because I want, and the start page at 2, because I want the facing pages of the second and third page to show me the front and back in relationship to each other. Okay. Now this needs to be 2.5. This needs to be 3.5. The bleed point. Let's say 0.15 because it's a very small file, and that looks pretty good. Let's come along. Okay. So you'll notice that we started at page 2 and 3 and we have an extra page, and actually we can just get rid of that page. So if you wanted to, a simpler way of starting that would be to just say number of pages 2, start page 2. And like I said, my goal was that they would all be side by side. It's easier. There we go. So now you've got 2 pages, 1 and 2, file, save as, Katerina. Oh, I know, Camtasia, you're a sweetheart. Oh, thank you. Okay, there. Yep. That's did it just crash?
No, the square is still up.
Oh,
right?
good. All right, yes, we are good. Katerina underscore EX12. I need to put that into a folder. EX12. Create. And there we go. Keep in mind, for those of you guys that are working on Creative Cloud over the holiday, you're going to need to bring in things that are PDFs. Now, to answer a question that we had before, when you go to File, Export, you will not export this as pages. You will export it as a spread. And then you will have those 2 side by side, front and back, and they'll be beautiful. All right. Now, each of you have been given an element. If you look at the back of a magic card or any card, the backs are typically very simple, right? I say, let's keep it that way. I'm going to make a very, very quick back. 2.5 times 3.5. I'm going to call this card back, and I'm going to make it in Illustrator. If you're like, you know what, I'd rather make it in Photoshop, I'd rather, whatever. As long as everyone at that pod has the same exact back. Okay? So, this is my back. It's your back, instead of saying Magic the Gathering, Deckmaster, it's going to say something like DART 100. I'm not sure if I can find a more boring font. I can try. Let's see what we got. There is Times New Roman.
You're feeling best. Should be like download like a cool,
I think you could probably find a really, kind of a cool font.
medieval like cursive ink.
You may, and you know what? If you do that, you may want to have that be something that every card uses. So think about. Want to call it Pachow the Gathering? Is that what you? Pachow the Gathering. That's kind of funny. Okay.
That's really fun.
So again, everybody's will have to say, please, 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 please do not look at this video for any kind of inspiration as far as design, because I'm just kind of pulling it together. It's good, right? It's all right.
Wow, making orange making it smaller.
I hear you over there. I hear you. I hear your subtle heckling. Okay. So Pachow, the gathering. Okay. And then DART's got to be up in there somewhere. Okay. Perfect. There we go. Let's move all this over here for a second. And let's save it because I don't trust it as far as I can throw it. And let's save it onto our desktop into our exercise folder. Save. And CS6 save. Now, what I'm going to do for the back of this is I'm going to make a gigantic square. I'm going to choose a blue. And then I'm going to go to Object, Create Gradient Mesh, 4 by 4, and hit OK. Now, with the Direct Select tool, I'm going to select a few of the anchors. With those anchor points selected, I'm going to change the colors. I'm going to go in, grab a couple more, and still continue to kind of pick let's look at our swatches and see if we've got, double click there. So I'm just going to get kind of a, like a little bit of the blues. Now this is pretty extreme, so if you guys have not worked with gradient meshes, which I can't think that we have because we just haven't in this class, you can also grab this anchor point and you can move these. You can twist them.
What is this for?
I'm just putting like for a little bit of something on the back. So one of the options is to play with like a gradient mesh. Again, we have not done gradient meshes. So if this is something where you're like, hey, I might check that out, or oh, I have experience with that. This is just to get a little bit of love. If you want to add some more meshes up in there, you can see that you can kind of make it look kind of cool. Then you bring this back in and bring it up to the front. And you might want to bring some circles, I don't know, a fish. It's really up to you, however you want to design the back. I would keep it very simple because that is going to be the winner chicken dinner of it. Okay. And if you love this mesh tool, you can also go over to this mesh tool and add different lines, and then grab these anchor points, and you can make them like different colors and move them around. They're actually, it's pretty fun. When I teach Illustrator only classes, we do projects with these, and you can make really kind of fun designs. So the back can be very, very simple. Very, very simple. This, again, is just about as simple as they get. I'm going to take a rounded rectangle, put that, give that a big ol' whomp and stroke, change the color to something a little darker, make sure that everything that you want is inside the artboard, because if you go to View, where is it? Sorry. Select all. Make sure that it is, all of it is inside there, because if it's not, this thing, whatever is not in the artboard, I don't know why that won't let me select it. There we go. There we go. Okay. And then you can move this around. Doop, 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 doop. Okay. Not the best thing I've done by any means, but you know what? It's a back. So I'm going to save it. Be kind of cool to put some kind of cool fish over there. Probably one of those, I don't know if you have been watching the internet, but yes, well, I'm going to show you something that's going to make you happy. If you are my friend on Google, you noticed I've changed my profile picture to this handsome guy right here.
It's so cool.
It is the first time he's ever been seen on video. It is she because the males are smaller, have no light bulbs, and eventually get sucked into the woman during reproduction.
That's so cool.
After this,
Yeah, after this,
the
yeah.
picture, like,
Let's-
yeah, it's awesome. Like, no, I don't
The
like
dudes
that.
are like, stop. So you could say, hey, I'm gonna throw that up on there. That's all right. Go nuts. We can do that. We can take that into Photoshop, and then
Everybody could put in their design, and then on Monday we could all decide what's going on the back.
duplicate
On
this.
Google Drive.
That's so sexy.
This is a good-looking fish.
So sexy.
Let's rephrase this, guys. Are we sure about that statement?
You know,
They
um,
are.
I'm gonna let you figure out, exactly how you choose to do it. But you do have this real good-looking fish. Oops. And that may be something that you want to drag over. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to use like a bazillion. That's a different program entirely, what I'm trying to do. So you can save as, put it in exercise 12, hit save, and then go back into Illustrator, File, Place. This is what I was trying to do, but I got all janky about it. Okay. And Place. And here, we do not want to flatten it. We want to convert layers to objects. Show preview. There we go. We whoa, that did not bring it in without the background. You figure out how to get that fish in there without that white background.
Amy's done with you.
You know how.
I've been try this one.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Fish.
Nobody got time for fish.
Okay. So, in design, you will go File, Place. You will grab your card back. I think what's happening at this point is I just have so many
Things open.
and so many programs open in my head that I'm trying to do things that are not permissible. But that's all right.
It's alright. It's okay.
Okay, there you go. If you want to keep the rounded corners, that may be something that you want to create in design. You have the rectangle tool, and you can add rounded corners to have. Remember, when you hit W, you will lose anything
That's outside.
that is outside.
Can you round the corners of the actual design pages?
You know what I would do is I would keep them square, and then when you send them to print, you actually pay to have them rounded. Yeah. So probably don't worry too much about that.
Are we gonna print them?
We are probably going to run out of time, but I'm going to say yes. But-
Because that makes us happy.
That makes you happy,
That's what I want
but probably no.
to hear. Just putting that out there, probably not.
But I'm going to tell you yes because
Okay.
that's what's good
So
for teachers.
figure this is coming out.
That's what a
On
90s book has.
it does. I'm
does.
feeling very. That's your back. On your front, you are going to have the one, the only, the Mooney.
The Mooney.
The Mooney.
Can we change the Mooney around to match that element?
You absolutely can. If you wanted to
Entirely new movie.
be wearing, have that person be wearing all red, or for Earth or
Like
something
fire
rocky.
or
Absolutely.
Holding a rock.
Let me give you the information that you need to have on the front, because I can tell you guys would rather get started than have me continue much longer. On the front, you need to have the following: your name. Let me pull up. Actually. He's a good-looking guy.
Seriously.
No.
No, he is. You can't.
Like, we only wish we could look like that.
Oh my gosh, there are some really funny ones.
Fan-made magic cards.
Yeah. Ours are going to be more awesome than that business.
Well, it sounds.
Oh, I love Chandra. Okay, we'll put Chandra up here.
Oh, it's a signed card.
It's no joke, guys. Like I know I know my stuff. So, in order to make this the width, okay, your name goes here. That's nice.
Does it have to be your name? Can you make up a name for it?
I think it should be your name because down here, this could be where you you have DART 100, and then if you wanted to have, you see how she's got her establishment. If you wanted to have a, this is what I would do. I would make up a nickname like Photoshop Empress or something, you know. Photoshop Queen.
And does the fronts all have to be identical too?
I would say to use a similar template, but you can have a little more fun with the fronts. I would say within the groups, I would use a similarity. So each pod could kind of come up with a real similarity. It is going to be simple. Again, really simple.
I had the idea that if everybody puts their ideas on Google Drive Monday, each pod decides on what they like for the fun.
Perfect, but it's due on Wednesday and you won't have a ton of time in class. So I think that's a great idea if that's something that you guys can make work.
But I mean, it's on the drive, so they can pick on the drive.
Hmm?
Maybe all the pods should be together on Skype.
Oh, I will let you guys, absolutely figure it out. But here's what we need. This is where your like slang name goes. This is where your DRT. Now in here is where you get to have the fun, okay? So say you have plus 10 pen tool mastery, okay? Plus 20, what else do you guys really know how to use?
Do we really not know how to use?
No, you guys, what do you feel like would be,
Masks.
oh yeah, plus 20
Layer mask.
Master.
ability to
Mask.
mask.
Well.
And then
minus 40 in design ability.
minus 40. Let's see.
Indesignable.
I think that what you guys do, what you lose in ability is you forget to
Remember?
you forget to
Add weakness.
link or embed. So
minus 40.
minus 40.
You can just put error like we didn't embed what actually
Yeah.
is there.
Error.
Embed error.
Error.
Or
The Endeavor Project.
link link cannot be found. Yeah.
We
I
all
love
know
it.
that like
That's
we
perfect.
can do
Can we
better.
use it?
So.
Yeah. And then you have a minus 100 exercise 10. But this can be
Get
like
rid of positives.
no, you have way more positives. And then you can make these little icons, you can make them in Illustrator. I would keep it very simple.
It
The
doesn't be the same as the rest of the people in the pod.
Yeah.
I would say the pods need to remain similar. Let me show you, let me break this down for you.
The point system thing will be different for everybody's card, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just for
That's where you're
individual
personalized.
pods.
That is one component.
We need a pod leader.
This is two. Okay. So you have one section there where your name goes. You have one section where your image goes. You have one section again where your name goes. So if you were to, what I'm doing is kind of dissecting, bless you,
Thank
the
you.
setup of it, and then you have one
You can give them
section.
a different color, you can't see them.
Yeah,
Red, and now
they are all red.
Thank you.
maybe blue or green,
Let's see,
something brighter.
how's that?
No.
That's tough. You know what?
Thicker stroke.
Well, we're running out of time. So
I
let's
just want to be able to see.
let's do this. I'm gonna get a little janky with it. You've got one section up here. That's where your name goes. This is where your little icons for water or air, or what was the other one?
Fire, earth, and air.
Maya.
Or earth. Okay.
Fire, water, and earth.
In here is where you go.
You.
In
If you
here,
want us to design a background for it as well.
you can put you could put just a simple plane of color behind your Mooney. You'd be good to go. And that color could reflect what pod you're in. Okay. The Chandra part, I would say, would be your photo. I have Photoshop mistress, creative cloud concubine, however you choose. And then this part down here,
There we go.
there's nice. That's much simpler. These are your abilities. Okay? These little things here you can make in Illustrator. You might want to, among the pods, say, hey, make these little icons. I think this is kind of a good way to do it. You
do the little like copyright thing at the bottom of the whole thing.
You-
Each artist
Good
is.
job.
you could absolutely make it as personal as you want. And then once this is all together, you can put this all together in Photoshop and simply place it in InDesign, or you can take the assets and place the assets together in InDesign. Remember, for InDesign, as long as you got your placement, you've got your size and your bleeds and everything like that, you're good to go. So you can use Illustrator or Photoshop to place things. I think if you got little things like this, they're going to be simpler to place in InDesign because you just draw a little graphic box, slap, slap, slap. You may want to create any of this text if it's going to be kind of fancy. You can use Illustrator or InDesign. So you've got 3 programs to experiment with. This is also worth 20 points, much like the Moonies, because there is a front and a back. So I think that answers, if not all of your questions, then I would say a good 70% of them. So I say let's get going. All right? Okay.